Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another live stream. Tuesday, we have made it through Monday and now it's downhill to the weekend in a way. So, we're going to be taking a look at you guys straight off the bat to see who's in the live chat room tonight. And we have Marcel and Neil and Samantha, Melody, Corey, Shawnee Key, Pamela, Grumpy Old Bob, Jennifer, Melody again, Sam, Chris, Karen, Bev as well, Paul, John, hello. Thank you guys for joining me on this Tuesday night, and I hope you guys had a good weekend and that this week has started well for you as well. We've got all the heaters on. It's a little bit cold here in the UK as usual, but not quite as cold as it's been over maybe the last couple of weeks. It's starting to get a little bit milder, but 6 degrees Celsius, 8 degrees, something like that. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit because we work in Celsius here in the UK. I believe in other places you work in Fahrenheit, but I'm not quite sure of the exact temperature difference, or at least how to convert one into the other one. I know that Fahrenheit's very high, and when you start getting up to like 80s and 90s, that is really high, probably in the 30s Celsius. Anyway, let's stop talking about temperatures and get some stuff up on screen. Here are my patrons. You know who you are, guys. Thank you so much for all of your support over at patreon.com/wings of Pegasus. These people are the foundation of the channel and make this live stream possible, as well as every single video that I make on the channel. So, a huge thank you to them. And if you want to get involved yourselves, head over to patreon.com/wings of Pegasus. I'll probably put a link on the screen later on in the live stream. I can do it now. Why not if I can find the right button? There it is. And there it isn't. So, anyway, tonight we're going to be having Pick Roulette as always. And we're going to be listening to a cover video, which is between Carry On Wayward Son and I Don't Want to Miss a Thing. So those are your two options. At the moment, it looks like Carry On Wayward Son is in the lead with 67%. And that is a video I made about 20 or 30 years ago. A very old cover, that one. But we will see which one. If there are any fans of I Don't Want to Miss a Thing, then make sure that you vote for the other one, and then you'll be able to check that out a little bit later on. So we have had an early donation in the super chat window as well. I can see Orlando's in there, but I believe that Ginny donated not right at the end of the last live stream. It was actually on the 13th, so the next day, which might have been a really, really early donation. But then again, I only set this up last night, so this must have been a very late donation on the last live stream that came in from Ginny. So thank you for that, and it was for $7. And there's a question with it which said, Phil, when singer or group is hired, who carries a band with them? Who pays the band? Thanks. So if you're signed to a record label, generally, the record label are going to pay for the session musicians, is what they're called. When you have a solo artist who then has a band, those session musicians are paid for rehearsals and paid for any gigs. And generally, here in the UK, it tends to be about £40 a rehearsal is what you get paid being a session musician. So if you're an independent artist, such as myself, it means that if I were to have session musicians, I would pay them out of my own pocket. So out of whatever I sell from my CDs and merchandise, I then pay the band. And considering that, generally for 3 hours, it's about £50. Might even be more than that now, but £50 is a rough estimate is what you're going to be paying for 3 hour rehearsal. So that means you pay £50 and then times that by if you have another session musician like a drummer and then bassist, maybe another guitarist, maybe a keys player, you have to add on £40. So that'll be £160 if my maths is correct. So it means for every rehearsal, you're paying £210. So if you want to have a couple of rehearsals a week, and maybe you want to rehearse for 4 weeks, probably you want to do longer than that, but you're looking at over £1,000 to have those session musicians involved. So yes, it is a very expensive venture, especially for original artists, considering that here in the UK is pay to play. So it means that you pay the venue to play. So that's another expense. So if you're looking to maybe book a gig in 5 weeks, you got to spend over £1,000 rehearsing for it, and then probably about £300 to £400 buying the tickets from the venue to then sell, to then try and break even, so you still haven't made any money, and then you don't get paid on the night. So it means you're looking at about £1,500, which is about $2,000, maybe a little bit more than that if you're an original artist who is getting session musicians to play with them in venues. So it doesn't take a genius to work out that after a while, even if you've got a job, a full-time job, paying for gigs, if you aren't in a band and everyone's not kind of getting together and putting their own money in, it's just not sustainable. This is why it's so much better to do it all online. And even when the whole band are involved, it's still not sustainable, because that kind of money, when you put into the equation as well, petrol money, just even parking in London, you have to pay about, I think it's £40. Last time I was in London, it's £40 for 3 hours parking. And if you're playing a gig, you're going to be there longer than the 3 hours. So I think over 3 hours, it then doubled to 80. So you're looking at 80 quid parking for one car. And hopefully you've got a van that you can go down in. But if you have to go down individually, then you have to add another 80 quid each per car. So yes, a very expensive business. But anyway, that's just the world we live in at the moment, unfortunately, for original independent artists. So this is why I always say about doing everything yourself. Set yourself up online, have your albums available online for download as well, and just push yourself out there as much as you can on the internet, rather than having to spend a few £1,000s doing it at gigs. It's just, yeah, more financially viable to do things through the internet and have control of everything. You know, publishing, merchandise, you name it, you can have control of it through the internet, making sure that it's just all on your website, which is the best way to do it, and not rely on third parties or management or people that come along and say, look, you're successful, I want a bit of your success and the money you're making, so I'll manage you. And generally, you can do everything yourself, so you don't really need to go down that route if you're just willing to put in the work. That's the other thing. Maybe you can't be bothered to do the work, in which case I wouldn't advise going independently at all, because it is going to take a lot of work, but it's definitely worth it. Take it from me, it is worth it in the long run to have control of everything, because then you get to do what I can do, which is play my own songs on my own live streams, and I can live stream on a Tuesday and a Saturday night and nobody can tell me otherwise. I'm always going to do it. So I always get to just interact with you guys, which is great. And I don't have anyone saying, oh no, you can't do Tuesday because you're doing this, and you can't do Saturday because we've booked you for that. So yeah, it's all good. Anyway, thank you, Ginny, for that donation, which was quite a while ago, but it is at the top of that list there. And it came in before Orlando's donation as well, so thank you for that, Orlando, for $2. And the message is, hello everyone, spike the likes with a thumbs up. And I remember the mug tonight. Here it is, the Wings of Pegasus live stream Tuesday mug with the spike the likes on there as well. Great idea by Orlando. If you can hit that thumbs up, it'd be much appreciated. Let's get the likes goal up on screen. It is 340. Just had to read it there. 340 for tonight. And let's get the live lycometer up on screen because it's 134. Let's see if we can get a spike of the likes at 13 minutes past midnight here in the UK, because maybe we'll be able to bump up that lycometer to get closer to 340 again. Huge targets on the live streams, especially for a Tuesday. 340 is quite a lot, so we will have to hope that you guys can hit that thumbs up if you haven't used your thumbs up yet. As you come through the door, it would be great if you could just leave that. So almost 150 likes, and there it is, a little bit of a spike just as I was looking at it, so thank you guys for that. Anyway, Robert has donated $100 in the super chat window as well, so thank you for that, Robert. And the message is Don Dokken breaking the chain, so thank you for that. I don't know whether that's a request for the future, maybe, or maybe a request for a cover in the future. I have got a cover of, actually I've got a couple of Dokken covers, and I'm trying to remember which ones they were. In My Dreams, that was one, and Just Got Lucky. Just Got Lucky. Just Got Lucky was the other one. This is it, trying to think. There are so many Dokken songs, I forget which ones I have covered, but I think it was 2, at least. That's all that I can remember at the moment. Maybe it's just 2 that I have covered in the past. But anyway, thank you for that, Robert, and that very kind donation. And Jennifer has popped in with a $5 donation as well. Thank you for that. And the message is, Phil, if you were a group like Three Dog Night who travelled with a band, do the singers pay them, or the record company, or someone else? So thank you for that, Jennifer. And that's exactly the same question, again, that we had from Ginny. So this is exactly the same answer that I've just given. So if you're independent, then you as the artist pay the band. If you're signed, then the record company pay the band. And it's important to know as well that if you are signed, the fees for the session musicians come out of your record deal, which you have to pay back. So ultimately, you are paying for them yourself. So if they are hiring session musicians, if you are a band signed to a record label, then all of you collectively, if you have signed an equal record contract with percentages, so say that there's 4 people in your band and you've signed up for 25% of or each of you is giving away 25% of everything to the record label, so they get 100%. That's pretty much how it works. Or maybe 98%. In the high 90s is what you'll find generally record labels taking. So if you've signed up to taking 25% each of that leftover 2%, then you guys in the band will still owe any outstanding amount to the record label. But because you're in the band, you won't have to pay for session musicians. You're just paying for hotel rooms, towels, M&Ms, chocolate bars, water, alcohol, whatever they put in your changing rooms, you're paying for that as well. Limousines, I've mentioned this all in the past, that as a band you pay for all of that. The record label tot it all up, and that is then owed to them once you've sold your albums. And if you don't sell enough albums to break even, then you will have to go into just touring for sometimes multiple years to make that money back for the record label. And there's been loads of artists who have had to tour for 3 to 5 years, after, sometimes even longer than that, after their record contract has finished. They are now playing for 5 years and not making any money because they're just trying to pay back that original contract that they had with the record label. And then once they've done the 5 years, then they can start to make a little bit of money for themselves. So you really are locked into those contracts, but that's just the way it works. It's like going to a bank. Some people would think it's even worse than going to a bank because the record labels aren't quite as obvious as what you are signing up to. Whereas with a bank, they say, right, we're going to give you this amount of money and you have to pay it back, and this is the percentage that we're going to add on to it in interest. So you know how it works. You know how much you've got to pay back before the interest is just going to get crazy. But anyway, yeah, that's how it works. So thank you for that, Ginny and Jennifer. And I know that there has been a donation in the PayPal window which came in really early from Michelle. When I say really early, I mean Sunday morning. So this was a few hours after the live stream on Sunday, but Michelle donated £7.23. So thank you for that. Let me get the donations tab up on screen so you guys can see the percentages to get a lay of the land. 35 to 45% goes to PayPal through the super chat window, and 3 to 5% goes to PayPal. So, and that link's in the description below if you want to find the PayPal donation link. But this came through PayPal from Michelle for £7.23. And thank you for that. It was Sunday morning, and the message was, thanks for all your work and for sharing your beautiful music. So thank you for that, Michelle, and those kind words. Let me just remove that from the screen because I now have to fast forward by a few days to make sure that I can get to the donation from tonight that came in, and this was Paul. So let's get Paul up on screen as well, and Paul donated $5, so thank you for that, Paul. And just going to scroll down because the message is, please spike those likes and kick back and enjoy, rock. So thank you for that, Paul. Great idea again. If you can hit that thumbs up, that would be fantastic. 185. We've got a good spike of the likes there. So thank you guys for hitting that thumbs up. And there has been another donation that came in. And I know that there was maybe an email that came in, yeah, in between those. So this is the thing with PayPal. Because I've got a folder that just deals with the PayPal, it makes it a little bit easier, but sometimes PayPal just put out an email about stuff, something that they've actually rung me about, and it seems like PayPal and banks, they always try to get you to sign up to their money or their special business money offer that they're giving you, like £7,500, and you get that for free, and then you only have to start paying it back, and it's free for X amount of months. And they always try to get you, those are the kind of emails that I get, but then they always try to get you on the phone as well. And I said, I'm not interested in getting a loan. And that's what it is everyone's trying to give you a loan because they know then they're going to charge 3 or 4% or even more than that. So they're going to get so much more back. And I'm one of these people that I've always saved up for stuff in cash. I've never had a credit card in my life. I've always just saved up the money to buy something, and then it's just from my youth. I used to get a bit of pocket money, maybe I think it was 50p a week, 50 pence, so that's like £1. That's, I don't know what that is in US money. For the US viewers, it's probably like 75 cents, something like that. That was my pocket money. So I knew that if I wanted to get like a Ghostbusters figure, for example, I know they were £5 or £6. So I'd have to save up for about 10 to 12 weeks to afford an Egon or something, you know, depending on the character that I wanted to get, or a Slimer. So I just used to save up for those 10 or 12 weeks, and then I got my figure. And then obviously it was just one by itself, so then I had to wait up for another 12 weeks to then buy, Slimer, yeah. And I mean, I can remember saving up for the Ecto 1, which was the car. And of course the car, I don't know how much it was, but it felt like I was saving up for about a year to get that. But still, it just meant that as a kid, I saved up for everything, and that just followed through to my adult life. I always save up and don't take loans and all of that kind of stuff. And I've never had a credit card. I just save up for stuff and then buy it when I have the money. Obviously, for some things, I think it's not possible, especially when things cost a lot of money. You then have to get help from somewhere else. But pretty much, yeah, I've still never had a credit card, so it's just something that's continued throughout my life. But anyway, thank you for the donations, and Deborah, who donated £5 as well. I'm just going to scroll down because it says spike the likes, plug of the mug. So thank you for that, Deborah, and I'll just do that again. Another little plug of the mug. If you want to get your hands on any merchandise, it's in the tray underneath this video. Click on any of that or any of those items. You'll go through to Spring, the website. The merchandise is all there. We can find the hoodies, the mugs, there's t-shirts there, there's loads of stuff there, so you can check it out. Also, there's a link in the description below if you want to click on that to go through to the Spring store as well. If you want to go to wingsofpegasus.com, which I've got a link to, I mean, it's self-explanatory, you'll be able to find Carla's merchandise over there. And with the pick roulette, we're going to be doing 2 spins again tonight, so it means that you're going to be able to have your choice, if you are a lucky winner on that second spin, of, I think we'll do the key ring and the necklace again like we did last time. I think that's going to be fine, so you'll be able to just choose between those two. Anyway, big shout out to the moderators, trying to speak too quickly, getting everything in. But I mean, it's almost 1:25. I know that the time just travels ridiculously fast during these live streams, so I have to try and get stuff in really quickly. But I just want to say a huge thank you to the moderators who do such a great job throughout these live streams. And I know that the last live stream had quite a lot of stuff going on. I think it's going to be probably unavoidable with the 213,000 subscribers that we've got, almost 214, I think, maybe. I'll have to check, but it has been going up quite quick recently, but maybe we are getting closer to 214. I think once you start getting this amount of people on the channel, some inadvertently will just pop on when we're live streaming and get involved in the live chat room. So thank you, moderators, for doing such a great job. And you'll be able to see their names going through in blue. We've got Neil in there, Laurie and Carla, Susan and Dennis moderating. So their names go through in blue and they have the wrench next to their names. So thank you guys for doing such a great job. So, Deborah, thank you for that donation. And let me just get things up on screen for you guys so you can see Deborah's donation. And I'm not sure that I had it on screen, so I'll scroll down for you guys to see it. There it is, Spike the Likes plug of the mug. And just to scroll up, because Carla has donated £18 and 9 pence, and Carla says, can't watch yet tonight, but I can still listen, with a smiley face. So thank you for that, Carla. And yes, Carla's had an eventful night. Unfortunately, she's back in the hospital with her mum, who had a fall, I believe, a couple of weeks ago maybe, and she's had another fall, so she's in the hospital again, and Carla is unable to tune in because of that tonight. So I was just saying thank you to Carla for moderating, but also this means that Neil and Susan and Dennis and Laurie will be in the actually they're just going through there. Neil, I think, just went through, Susan and Dennis, and I can see that Laurie's about to go through as well. So they'll be doing all of the work in that live chat room tonight. So again, thank you guys so much for that. And Laurie's just on a link to something. I don't know what that is, but thank you for... I'm sure somebody's asking for something, so thank you for that, Laurie, for putting that link up there. And Carla as well for that donation. And Laura has donated £36 and 17 pence. Thank you for that, Laura. And the message is, enjoyed listening to your CD today while running errands today. So thank you for that. And I thought it was going to end at while running, because I thought, wow, that's something that I think I need to start doing as well, is getting out, getting a little bit more fitness in. It's not that I struggle with Christmas too much. I know that everyone sees Christmas as a time when they overeat and all that kind of stuff, but I tend not to overeat too much anyway. I'm pretty strict with my diet, and there's things that generally, all the bad stuff I can't eat anyway because my body doesn't really like it. So I'm quite strict over Christmas, but I know that a lot of people tend to overeat. And yeah, I know certainly my parents are trying to slim down before Christmas, knowing that they're going to eat a lot of Christmas. This is something that my sister is massively guilty of. Her plates are, I mean, the size of the table, actually the size of a small table, whereas normally the plates that I have are just normal sized plates, just so that you can have a bit of rice on there, a bit of chicken, and it can fill up the plate, but it's not a big plate. Whereas, I mean, I don't know how many, maybe like a 10 by 10 inch plate. It is ridiculous. And she fills it up. Not only does she fill it up, but she starts piling stuff on top. So this is why it's just crazy. So when we eat at my sister's, yeah, it is just a case that if you finish your dinner, you then can't eat for the rest of the day, and probably Boxing Day. So she's certainly guilty of just doing too much food. So that's why my mum and dad, I think, have gone on a diet beforehand. But anyway, thank you for that, Laura. And I mean, the CD is probably good to listen to running as well. Just have to maybe pick the songs that aren't the ballads, maybe the more up-tempo ones, but are good for running errands as well. So thank you for that. Right. And I think pretty much we are up to date with things in both of those windows. But thank you guys for all of those very early donations in the live stream. We are going to be looking at the cover video relatively soon. It's almost midnight here in the UK. And I mean, my hair at the moment is grown just enough to poke me in the eye every now and again. I don't know whether you can see it, but I have to keep on moving it out of my eye because it keeps on poking me. So I'm going to have a word with my hairdresser, because I believe my next haircut isn't for still quite a while, so maybe my fringe is a bit longer than it should be at this time, but I'm just going to have to deal with it, get it out of my eyes. So if you see me keep on doing that, that is why. Anyway, in the back to the live stream, in the Christmas spirit of everything, I have started my shopping. I've got a few items bought, which is good, and it's generally just going to be ordering it from Amazon and just trying to get it delivered. And getting out there at the moment in the UK is going to be difficult because we've got the Omicron variant of the virus. I think that's something that's now spreading worldwide, which is, yeah, a bit concerning. So everyone's now wearing masks. I think everyone's been asked to work from home if they can. So we're not in a lockdown at the moment, but everyone's just staying home as much as possible. And I'm not sure how that's going to affect Christmas. In this country, we had this whole thing where last year they said that you had to be in lockdown, which meant that you couldn't go out, you couldn't have parties and all that kind of stuff. It was in pure lockdown, so you couldn't even leave your own house. And then apparently the government did have a Christmas party, and even though they told everyone to stay at home and they couldn't see each other, and people were losing loved ones, like quite literally people were dying, but they couldn't see them because we were in lockdown. So you can imagine the kind of outrage that the public has now had against the government to find out that they might have had a Christmas party where they were allowed to attend and the public weren't allowed to say goodbye to their loved ones who were dying. So yeah, a bit of, I'd say, tension is the lightest way to put it. A bit of tension in the UK here between the public and the government. But again, it's something that I've always said pretty much, that most places, the whole government and everything is flawed. That I think personally, if you are part of the government, you have absolutely got to follow the rules that you set. Because if the government don't follow the rules that they set for the public, then what's the point in having a government? It seems ridiculous that they can set rules for millions and millions and millions of people and then not do it themselves. And it's just been the case in this country, unfortunately, that then MPs put like second houses and claim for that so that they can get another house, and it's not paid for by them because they say, oh, I need to have that house because it's close to where I do some work sometimes, like maybe once a week in the year. There's ridiculous stuff that goes on. So yeah, I've always thought that the government needs to be totally reworked, but we're too far down that path now to totally redesign anything. But just to have people that would actually follow their own rules would be nice. I think that's the basic thing that you can expect, or the basic thing to expect from a government, that if they tell you to do something, you think that they will be doing it themselves, first of all, and then we follow their... when I say, yeah, we follow their example, if we were doing that, then, yeah, nobody would be just doing anything the government said. Anyway, let's not get into... let's not do any government chat on the live streams. This is pretty much the the place to escape from the government, but I think this is the only time since I've been live streaming that in the UK something as big as that has happened, where pretty much the whole country is outraged at the fact that this thing potentially happened while they and we were in lockdown. So yeah, pretty much unprecedented here in the UK. But I try to keep politics out of the live streams as much as possible, but sometimes it is impossible because it just governs everything that we do. But anyway, I did mention it, I think because of having to go out and do shopping, Christmas shopping, but at the moment with the Omicron, I think that's what it's called, it means that, yeah, we can't really go out, or at least we're advised not to go out. If you are going out, you have to wear masks. And I have my booster jab on Friday. That's the other last bit of news. Government-wise is that I know that everyone is getting their jabs boosted in the UK here as quickly as possible, because the 2 jabs don't offer any protection to the Omicron, and the doctors say that the booster jab does offer protection. I don't know what the percentage is, but it's quite high, so I'll be getting that just in case. Not that I go anywhere, I won't be getting it or spreading it to anyone, but just if there's a chance I could accidentally spread it to someone at some point, I want to make sure that not only I'm not spreading it by wearing a mask, but I want to make sure that if I got it, I reduce the chances that I'll need to go to hospital, because I know there's other people that need hospital a hell of a lot more than I do, because I'm a lot younger, I'm not at risk, or at least I don't have a lot of risk factors. So I'd rather that a potential bed is left free for someone else rather than me, because I know I can get a booster and just minimize my chance of going to hospital. And I'd rather do that to save those beds for people that will need them, that might even have the jabs but are high risk, so will need more treatment than say I will. So anyway, I'll be getting that on Friday. But let's move forward with the live stream, and I might jump into the cover video a little bit early. Where are we with the vote? The vote is 70% for Carry On Wayward Son, so keep on voting for that. I think maybe we'll have a few more minutes on that vote, but we'll jump into it, try and keep organized for tonight's live stream. We're at 233 likes. Let me get my pointing a little bit more accurate. There it is, 234, 234. Great timing, and if you can leave a thumbs up, that would be much appreciated. We're aiming for 340. If we hit that target, it means that we're going to have our pick roulette next week, and you can enter your names in for that. Let me mention the top tip for tonight. So, if this is your first live stream, hello, introduce yourself into the live chat room and introduce yourself to everybody. That's what we've done since day one on these live streams. That's what everyone's done, just introduce themselves. So if it's your first live stream, we have a pick roulette. If we hit the target on tonight's live stream, then for next week's pick roulette we have the spin, but you can get your names on it at the end of this live stream, so stay tuned for that. But we are going to pick a top tip. I'm going to pick a top tip, which means that I pick out somebody's name and they never win. So if somebody wants to sacrifice themselves in the pick roulette for tonight, just let me know in the live chat room and I will make a note of your name. So when the wheel spins, I haven't yet landed on the top tip, but I've been close. I think within 2 segments we've been in the past, so I'm going to keep an eye out in the live chat room just to see if somebody says I want to be the top tip. And there we have Roberta has sacrificed herself as the top tip, so I'm going to make a note of Roberta so I remember for later. And let me just write down Roberta's surname as well, just in case there's another Roberta that pops in. So there we go, Roberta is the top tip for tonight. Thank you for choosing yourself to not lose, or maybe, let's think positive, you could be the first ever top tip to win tonight. So we're going to be spinning the wheel once, then you can win the signed Wings of Pegasus pick, which I have over here, and it's a little bit rubbed off. I mean, that's okay, I think. Actually, the logo's a little bit rubbed off. I play guitar too much, so that's the logo, and that's the signed back part of it, but that's rubbing off a bit because of playing guitar and doing lots of analysis videos with that pick. But we're going to spin the wheel, and then we're going to spin the wheel again, and this is going to be a different wheel, and then you get to choose, the winner of that will get to choose either having a necklace or a keychain, a Wings of Pegasus necklace or keychain. So we'll be doing that a little bit later on. So let me just try and get everything organized. I did say we're going to jump into the cover video, but just before we do that, we've had another donation that has come in from Lisa in the super chat window. So thank you for that, Lisa. And it's for $9.99. And the message is, hey Phil, wanted to say a big thanks to all the kind-hearted wingers tonight. Such a caring group and no place else I want to be tonight. Had to put my 2 little dogs down earlier. Rest in peace. Vivian and Buster with a broken heart. So thank you for that, Lisa, and I'm sorry to hear that sad news. I'm sure that everybody in that live chat room is behind you, and it's such a great community here. I'm sure they all wish you the best in the live chat room. So very sorry to hear that news from Lisa. But thank you, Lisa, for that donation, and I hope that things can improve for you over the coming weeks and months. And I mean, for years you will have the memories. I know it's really difficult when I know that when pets leave you, it's difficult. But then I think of the memories that you had with the pets that you can think about for the whole of your life is probably a positive to try and think of, but obviously it's going to be raw at the moment. So all of our thoughts are with you, Lisa. And I haven't had pets for a very long time. The last pet that I had was a rabbit when I must have been, I don't know how old, maybe 8 or 9 years of age. And they were called Benny and Snowy. And yes, when they leave, yeah, they were more like, I guess, cats or dogs than rabbits, because they used to come in the house. And especially in winter, when unfortunately Snowy died first, and then Benny was more like a dog, because he'd spend most of his time inside and he'd just hang out by the fireplace, just sitting there, and he'd run around the sitting room. So yeah, he was very much a, I'm not sure trained would be quite the right way to describe him, but he was quite, okay, running around in the garden and then just coming inside and chilling out in the front room with us in the evening. But anyway, thank you for that, Lisa, for that kind donation. And like I said, I'm sure everybody's thoughts are with you. And I am just going to jump into the PayPal window, because Orlando has donated £1 as well. Thank you for that, Orlando. Again, the message is, when a band breaks up, is it a race to buy the rights to the band name and music, or does the record company own all that? Who gets royalties? So thank you for that, Orlando. And this is something I could talk about all night. I mean, in so many analysis videos, I've spoken about bands who have split up, and then one person registers the band name, and then the other members might go off and use the band name, and then they go to court because the person who registered the band name said you weren't allowed to use the band name because I registered it, and then the other people say, well, we didn't know you registered it, so then we're going to use the original band name and then put something like the original before the band name, and then they have arguments whether you're even allowed to put the original, because if you aren't the original, then one person's missing, and they say, well, I'm the original member, so you can't say you're the original. It gets really messy. Generally, record labels will have that in the contract, that you're signing everything over to them, including the name of the band. So in order to have that registered yourself, you have to be pretty switched on to make sure that it is yourself, and that the record label doesn't register it. And when it comes to royalties, that's going to be songwriters. So if there are songs that you have written, you own the publishing, this is another thing that gets signed over to the record label. But if you own the publishing yourself, even if the other band members go off and they call the band something else, if they're playing your song that you've written, you get the royalties for that. Even if they've co-written it with you and they go off and perform it, you'll still get the percentage that you are entitled to, even though you're not performing it anymore. So this is why it's really important to maintain your publishing on your songs and just maintain all of those rights, because no matter what happens with your song in the future, you will own that song. It will always come back to you, even if other people are doing covers of your songs. So that's really important, just to keep that. And I always stress that on this channel about being an independent artist. Own your publishing and don't sign it over to anybody. So yeah, it sometimes is a race for band members to try and just get the rights to the band name. Generally, if the band members don't own the songs themselves individually, the record label would have most certainly just jumped on the chance to get the publishing rights to the songs. If they found out that the person who's writing these songs in the band isn't registering them himself, they will do that. And they will do that without the people in the band knowing. That is something that if they can get their hands on the publishing rights to the songs that these people in the band are writing, then they will do that, absolutely. And they'll just write it as probably an amendment to the contract, and they'll just say, oh guys, this is just an update to the contract, and they'll put it in 100 pages, and in there somewhere will be, we take the rights to the songs written from this year to that year, and it'll be like 50 years. and they'll just put that in there, say, oh guys, yeah, just a quick amendment, just sign here, and then we can continue with the recording. And you know what band members are like, they just sign it, and then they realise later on, oh hang on, I can't get the rights to my songs that I wrote for 50 years. And that has happened so many times. Look at the bands back from the 60s who are now only just getting the rights to their music that they wrote back at 50 years ago, because that copyright is now free. They can now buy the copyrights back themselves. Sometimes they're even in a bidding war with the record label, because the record label want to buy them again to keep making the money. But anyway, and some have actually signed over all of their rights for a lump sum. That's something that's happened recently, which I know that some people in different situations, I don't necessarily agree with that. But if you are really hard up and you think that, right, I need $3 million now in my pocket rather than wait for that to accumulate over the next 5 years, then fair enough. But I think for the big artists, their songs are potentially going to earn money for the rest of their life and their children's lives and their children's children's lives. If you've got a song that's going to be in constant rotation, you can have that being paid to your family for the rest of time. So as soon as you sign over those rights, that's your money stops. It's like a drip. As soon as you stop that tap, that's it. Whereas you could leave that tap dripping for the rest of time. And I think it's, I know that people have hard times and it's sometimes better for them financially to just get a lump sum. But if you can, I would say just try and keep the rights for as long as you can and never sign them over to anybody else, because you are ensuring the future of your bloodline and your family. Really, that's what it's, people can look and say, right, your great granddad wrote this song that we hear on the radio, and we are still getting the money for every single play. So, and that's how it works. But anyway, thank you for that, Orlando. Just gonna scroll up, but like I said, I could talk about that kind of thing all night. And I'm just going to it's 1:45, so I don't want to get sidetracked. I'm going to jump into, I know that there have been other donations in the PayPal window, so thank you guys for those. We're going to jump into the cover for tonight, which looks like it's going to be Carry On Wayward Son. I'm just going to finalize that poll to see what the percentages are, but it is 68% for Carry On Wayward Son and 31% for I Don't Want to Miss a Thing, and there were 260 votes. So thank you guys for doing that. And we're going to be jumping into this video, which I recorded about 30 years ago. It's not quite that long ago, but it was a long time ago. This is probably, I know that we looked at the first cover video that I did on Patreon. This is probably one of my first cover videos ever, because it was so long ago. But anyway, and I was wearing a t-shirt, so it was definitely a lot warmer than it is now. It must have been done in the summer, but let's have a little look at this. Thank you guys for voting, and I hope you enjoy my version of Carry On Wayward Son from ages ago, and I'll see you after this. Rock! Okay, Carry On My Wayward Son by Kansas. Let's do this. Rock! Carry on my wayward son, there'll be peace when you are done. Lay your weary head to rest, don't you cry no more. As I rose above the noise and confusion, just to get a glimpse beyond this illusion, I was soaring ever higher, but I flew too high. Though my eyes could see, I still was a blind man. Though my mind could think, I still was a madman. I hear the voices when I'm dreaming, I can hear them say, carry on my wayward son, there'll be peace when you are done. Lay your weary head to rest, don't you cry no more. Oh no. Masquerading as a man with a reason, my charade was the
If I claim to be a wise man, it surely means that I don't know. On a stormy sea of moving emotions, tossed around I'm like a ship on the ocean. I set the course for winds of fortune, but I hear the voices say, carry on my wayward son, there'll be peace when you are done. Lay your weary head to rest, don't you cry no more. Carry on, you will always remember. Carry on, nothing equals a spender. Now your life's no longer empty. Surely heaven waits for you. Carry on, my wayward son, there'll be peace when you are done. Lay your weary head to rest, don't you cry no more.
And there we have it. That was my version of the Kansas Classic, and it was a video that I've slightly amended. I mean, the original song obviously goes on for a lot longer than that, but I know that it's an old video because I was making the covers as short as I could, because I knew that people didn't watch my channel for very long, so I was just trying to hold their attention for maybe 3 or 4 minutes. So anyway, that was Carry On Wayward Son, so thank you guys for that. I think in the intro I said Carry On My Wayward Son, got a bit carried away, but there's no my in the title. Carry On Wayward Son is the official title, but thank you guys for requesting that one over on Patreon tonight, and requesting I don't want to miss a thing, not mess a thing. I don't want to miss a thing was the other option for tonight. So it was, yeah, a little bit of Kansas for tonight, which is great. An old video, but an oldie, but a goodie, as just throwing in a little bit of a Back to the Future reference there. Anyway, thank you guys for joining me in this live stream tonight. If you can hit that thumbs up, it'll be massively appreciated, because we are aiming for 340 likes tonight in the live stream. If we hit that, it means that we're going to be having a pick roulette next week, and stay tuned for that, because we are going to be getting into that pretty soon. It's 10 to 1 here in the UK, and we'll be jumping into our pick roulette, and this was set up by hitting the goal last week. So this is what we have, is the previous week means that we have to spin the next week, and so on and so forth. So stay tuned for that, and then you can enter the pick roulette and then go away with either a signed Wings of Pegasus pick, or for tonight somebody's also going to win a Wings of Pegasus necklace or keychain, whatever you decide that you want to have. So I mentioned about the link over on Patreon. If you want to get involved yourselves, I always say it's the foundation of my channel, that you can head over there. Is where I ask for the requests during these live streams, and where we then have the vote by what is chosen or asked for over there. So just to get that link up on screen, I did say that I'd do it at the beginning of the live stream, but there it is. If you want to get involved and become a patron of Wings of Pegasus, myself, and the foundation of the channel, this is really the reason why I can just push forward with the videos and the live streams, and just keep on getting everything that I need to not have any bumps in the road, and, you know, have to not do a video on one night and then maybe not live stream on another night. The whole reason that I've actually managed to get 2 internet providers, so that when one breaks, I can then instantly change it to the next one, and hence why these live streams are a hell of a lot more reliable and just more frequent. I don't think we've missed one in maybe 2 or 3 years, whereas before that it was just hit and miss, as you guys will know if you've been here quite a while, where it would just freeze and then I'd have to leave and I wouldn't be here for the rest of the night, and it would be a nightmare. Sometimes I'd actually record a video of me just playing a video or two and then upload it as a separate video on YouTube because the live streams were let down, or we were being let down by the internet provider. Whereas now I have 2 of those because of these people at the bottom of the screen. And you can see Gabby there, who just joined in, I think, in the last 4 hours. I saw Gabby's name just popped up, and whenever somebody does jump up or jump in on the Patreon site, I get a notification and I will send them a message as well. So I've sent Gabby a message. As Gabby, you will know if you're watching this live stream, over on Patreon you have a direct message to me option. If you want to use that, if you want to message me about anything, then I can message you back on there. But I'm always on Patreon every night, and I give updates as to what I'm up to, even on my admin days, which are a Monday and a Thursday, where I'm not doing a video but keeping up to date with emails and CD orders. So talking about messages and all that kind of stuff, I did momentarily join the chat which was happening over on the Wings of Pegasus supporters page. This is another thing that if you want to join in with the supporters page over on Facebook, if you're a Facebook user, type in Wings of Pegasus supporters over on Facebook and you can join that group. I did join the Skype chat after the last live stream. As I said, momentarily. I wasn't there for very long because unfortunately I was probably there for about a minute or 2 minutes, because the sound, everything that I've got set up here is for live streaming analysis videos, and I've got all of my inputs and outputs very specifically designed for my guitar as well. For when I do analysis videos, that's another input that I have to organize so that you can hear it all at the same time when I'm doing analysis videos and when I'm live streaming. But unfortunately, because I've got it wired in a particular way, when I just start up Skype, it doesn't register with Skype or Google as having a microphone. So I'm not sure how I'm going to organize that, because obviously I don't want to mess up my setup. So anyway, to cut a long story short, basically I was in the chat and I was just waving, saying hello, doing a thumbs up, and then saying that I couldn't hear anything, so that I was, gonna go. But I was there for a tiny bit of time. So thank you, Kevin, for mentioning that over on Facebook. And I did try to join in, but I think it's going to take a bit more time for me to be able to join in with something like that properly. And maybe it's something I can do in the future, or maybe have some kind of hosting thing. Maybe on Patreon, I know that they do have an option to have some kind of chat thing, like video chat stream. I haven't been into it yet, but maybe that is something that I can do in the future. I do not know. But anyway, thank you, Kevin, for that invite over on Facebook after that last live stream. But generally, I am just full on after doing the live stream with doing the emails and messages that come in while I'm live streaming, and the comments over on YouTube as well. And I mean, everything I say over on YouTube, I know we're on YouTube, but I have so many places that I jump to in the internet or on the internet. I have different social media pages, so I'm trying to keep them organized between Facebook and then Instagram and YouTube. So I'm constantly jumping on, and Patreon. So yeah, I'm jumping from lots of different sites, but yeah, on YouTube, certainly, lots of comments come in and that kind of thing. So I try and keep up to date with those. Anyway, we are going to be jumping into tonight's pick roulette. So, let me just mention that Steve has donated in the PayPal window. Thank you for that, Steve. Let's quickly get to this. Steve has donated £5. Thank you for that. And the message is, do you think certain genres of music lend themselves to certain keys? I think blues sounds best in A or B flat. Is that just me, or is my thought correct? So thank you for that, Steve. I'd say generally blues tends to be in those keys because it means that your high notes, if you're playing around, B would be considered, quite high vocally. If you want to hit your root note of B and you want to really get up there in your chest voice and belt it out, it means that you're going to be hitting a B4 in chest voice, which is a semitone off a C5. So that is high up there. That is above the A4 that is labelled as being the top end of the male tenor range. So that's high up there for guys. Generally, taking it down to A is something that now makes it a little bit more manageable. So most of your vocals are going to be around that E4 and then up to an G4, maybe the A4. If you're starting in A, that's going to give you a high note, and that belty chest, A4 if you want to hit that for a guy. But yeah, going down, this is it. Going down to A, sometimes, B flat. I said B, obviously, if you're looking at your guitar. B is going to be on your 7th fret. That's where you're going to be playing your bar chord. The B flat, as Steve has just mentioned, is just flat of that. It's going to be a semitone down, just 1 fret lower. Lower than that, you have A, but you can still see the G4 being used for blues, for example. And I'm trying to think of a recent video that had G. I can't remember which video it was, but I know I was demonstrating in G down at the bottom. It might have been, no, I think Chuck Berry just kept it still up at B or something ridiculous, even maybe C. He just had it kind of way up there in this particular live performance. But down at G, I can't remember which video it was, but you can get down there. It just means you're going to have to stretch a little bit more with that 3rd finger and little finger if you are kind of pedaling, the blues progression. And I'm talking about really Johnny B. Good having that blues progression where you're going to have to stretch that little finger. It's going to be more difficult down in that G position on your 3rd fret. But generally it tends to be played in these positions for vocals, because if you're trying to sing a B and you go for your big note that's a B4 and you can't hit it, that's why a lot of people then take it down a tone, so then they can hit that big A4 rather than over stressing and straining their voice too much. But anyway, Steve, it's just something that then now tends to be people copy the standard or the standards from back in the day. All of these blues progressions that were in A and B, they just copy them and do covers of them and just play them in the same key. So that's why most blues and old-time blues tends to be in the same keys. You just always put it there. But it's really easy just to take it down a couple of frets, or a step, which is 2 frets on your guitar. Take it down a step, which is a tone. Here we refer to it as in the UK, just to make the vocals a little bit easier on having that voice straining is not what you want to do, especially if you're playing lots of nights after each other. But anyway, thank you, Steve, for that. Just going to scroll up because there has been another donation, and it is Joseph who has donated £10. So thank you for that. And just scrolling down because it says from New Mexico in USA as Roy Hobbs. So thank you for that, Roy. So that's a little alias that we've got going on there, but thank you for that donation, Roy. And we have Laura in the house. Again, the message is it's £7.23. So thank you for that. And the message is, Phil, YouTube says you posted Carry On Wayward Son way back on April 25th, 2014. Great song then and great song now. Thanks. So thank you for that, Laura. And that means it was pushing on 10 years ago. So yeah, I was quite literally just a boy when I did that video. So yeah, almost 10 years ago, which is crazy. But I mean, that was still 3 years after, I think, I started the YouTube channel. Unless I started the YouTube channel in 2009. It was 2009 or 2011. I can't remember. But thank you, Laura, for the date of that particular video. So yeah, pushing on for... we're pretty much in 2022, so yeah, 8 years. So it'll be 10 years before we know it, I'm sure. But anyway, we're going to be jumping into the pick roulette for tonight. So let's have a little look at 338. We are pretty close, ladies and gentlemen, to hitting our target of 340. We're one person away. If one person is in the live chat room and you haven't used your thumbs up yet, that would be amazing if you could click that thumbs up. And there it is. Thank you to that person who just responded to what I said and hit that thumbs up, because we have now had 340 people hit that thumbs up, and we will be having a pick roulette next week. So stay tuned for this one, because I'll give you a little bit of an opportunity to type I agree after this. Wait till... To enter the next pick roulette, you have to wait till we've finished this pick roulette, and then it all starts again after that. So wait until we've completed this one, And let's jump into it. Tonight's Pick Roulette. Good luck, everybody. I'll see you guys in a second. Rock. So let's get the wheel up on screen, and there we have it. So the top tip for tonight is Roberta, and I don't think I've seen her name yet on the wheel. I can never pretty much pick it out, but we're going to spin the wheel as we always do and see whose lucky night it is tonight. By the way, the darker sections here, if we land on one of those, then we go to the t-shirt roulette, which means that somebody is going to win the signed, custom-made Wings of Pegasus t-shirt. But let's give this wheel a spin, and we will see who is going to win. And we are going to be having another spin tonight as well, so we will jump to the other wheel, which I realise now that I haven't set up, but I will do that and try and do it in a way that you hardly notice that I'm doing lots of stuff behind the scenes. So, here we go. We are slowing down. We are close to a t-shirt here, but it's just going to go past it. So, is either Les or Tommy... I can see Orlando trying to get in on the act there. Is it going to get as far? No, it isn't. So, there is Tammy, is it? Or no, it is Tammy, who has won tonight. Tammy Kennedy, congratulations to you. If you can let yourself be known in the live chat room to Carla, that would be really good. I know that Carla isn't going to be in this live chat room in terms of being able to comment, but she is listening. So if you can write a message Tammy, that would be great, because Carla will be able to see it and then get everything sorted out to get that signed Wings of Pegasus pick sent off to you. So congratulations, Tammy, and commiserations to everybody else, and Roberta, who was the top tip for tonight. But sadly, as always, my top tip, unfortunately, just is not a top tip at all, because I still have a 0% chance of winning. So I'm now going to have to try and get to where the t-shirt wheel is. And let me just try and do this without anybody noticing that I'm actually taking ages to do it. But here is the t-shirt wheel, and I almost got it all on the screen. Let me move it up a little bit. There we go. So this is the t-shirt wheel, but it's got all of the names on there to now have the spin to see who's going to win either the necklace or the keychain. So we're going to spin it again, and we'll see whose lucky night it is tonight, who's going to have the choice. And again, if you win this, it means that you have to let yourself be known to Carla in that live chat room. But we are spinning, and we'll see who's about to be winning. And we are slowing down. Orlando's just gone through. Orlando's only just missed out on both of these. We've got Robert, Carl, Michelle, maybe Lizzie. Is it going to get to Lizzie? I think it is. There we go. Technically, it's Litutu, i.e. Topper. But I'm just going to move this across so you guys can see. So I'm reading that as Lizzie. I'm assuming that the twos are actually supposed to be Z's. So congratulations to you, Lizzie. If you can let yourself be known in the live chat room, that would be great. And again, commiserations to everybody else who didn't win tonight. But Lizzie, you will have an option of either the Wings of Pegasus pick necklace, and it's like a necklace with a pick on it, or the Wings of Pegasus signed is it a signed pick on the necklace? No, it's a coloured necklace. Here's what you get to choose the colour of the necklace that you want, or you can have a keychain where I think you can choose the colour of the pick on that, because it comes in 3 different colours. If you just let yourself be known to Carla, she will let you know what you can choose. But anyway, congratulations to Lizzie. And I can see that Steve has just said Carla is not here, so we cannot message her. And don't worry, if you just do a message, then Carla can see that message and then click on the username and get at least a way to contact the person at that time, because I think Carla is going to either be listening to this live or listening to it on catch up. So what happens is she then watches it in the future and can follow the names and see that whoever it is actually in the live chat room, and then she can get in contact with her after. So it is important that Carla sees the person who has won is in the live chat room. So if you can still do a message, then please do that in the live chat room, because that is all part of the Pick Roulette. You have to be part of the live chat room when you win in order to pick up the prize. You have to be in it to win it, as I say. So just to let you know that even though Carla's not here, if you can still do a message, that is all part of picking up your prize. So anyway, let's get rid of that and the background, because now we are open for next week's Pick Roulette. So entries are open. So what I'm going to do is now type in here at Carla Murray, and I'm going to type I agree. Oh, and actually mess it up. So there we go, and we'll hit that, wait for it to come through. So if you can see what's going on in the live chat room, this is what you have to do. Tag Carla's name in there, at Carla Murray, and type I agree. If you do that, then you're going to be able to get your name on the Pick Roulette wheel next week. And throughout December, we are going to be spinning twice. So it means that you've got a double chance of winning on a Saturday and a double chance of winning on a Tuesday. So make sure, if you want to double your chances of winning double and have 4 chances a week, then tune in on Tuesday nights as well as Saturday nights, because we do live stream on Saturday nights. If this is your first live stream on the Tuesday night, Saturday night is the other live stream that you can tune into and double your chances of winning. This is a really good example of what to do to get your name on the wheel. Follow what everybody's doing here. Look at all of these people being very efficient with their entries. So thank you guys for that. And only do it once. That's the other major thing. Only type it once, because if you type it more than once, then your name won't be on the wheel. You just need 1 entry, because Carla checks this after the fact, goes through the live stream and just crosses off every name that has been done once. And once it's crossed off, that is it. If you do another one, then it will be uncrossed off, which means that you then won't be on the wheel. And yeah, just keeping it simple. That's what we want to do here. Thank you guys for entering the Pick Roulette. I'm going to leave you guys with a little bit of time to do that. So, let me just jump into the PayPal window, because there's been another donation in there that has come in from John, who has donated £10. So thank you for that, John. And the message is, hey Phil, first time I've been able to catch a live stream, but I love watching your channel. I'm always on the catch-up crew. You kept me entertained during the 2-month quarantine from March through May 2020 while I was forced to work out at home. Rock! So thank you for that, John. And thank you for the kind words about the channel. And yeah, I think everyone's had this problem of being in lockdown, quarantine as well. And we've been in lockdown twice here in the UK, I think. It might have been 3 times. Anyway, I know that one of them was for 2 months, and that was a nightmare. And yes, having to work at home. I mean, this is kind of just what I do anyway, in a room, live streaming with you guys. So fortunately, I don't have to go out anywhere to do this. As long as I can just keep my internet running and up to speed, then I'm pretty much fine. But yeah, people that had to go out to their workplace was an absolute nightmare. But also, yeah, working out at home. That's something that fortunately, again, because I've got the history of being a personal trainer when I was 18 and 19 years of age, I was really into soccer, as we call it here. And yeah, I was really into my fitness back then. So I was a personal trainer for a couple of years, which means that I have a bit of knowledge of what to do, how to work out best for my own genetics at home. So yeah, I just get a bench and I get some free weights, and I've got lots of things that I can do at home. That means I don't have to go to a gym in order to get myself in a particular shape that I'm happy with. But then again, it's still very tempting to just not do anything. And I think the problem is that when you do your work from home, I mean, as I do on a day-to-day basis, effectively doing the analysis videos and live streams and all of the emails and sending out CDs, all that kind of stuff, the job is 24 hours. So you do it all day until you go to sleep, and then you wake up and you do it all day, and there's no such thing as a day off because there's always messages. That's why my days off are admin days, because I spend the whole day just getting everything up to speed of the week's emails that I haven't managed to get to yet. So that's the only drawback of working from home all the time. I think when you've got an office job, you can do a 9 to 5, and then you go home and you have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, maybe 6 hours of maybe watching TV or just being lazy or doing something where you don't have to worry about work. And then you just get up the next morning and do your 8-hour shift again and then go back and relax or whatever. And yeah, sometimes, that video that I had recently that took 13 and a half hours to make, sometimes your day just disappears and then you have to spend the next 2 or 3 days trying to catch up with the hours that you spent doing the video when you weren't doing emails. So yeah, it is a bit hardcore, but it's also, I think, a privilege to be able to work from home and do everything and not need to rely on anybody else to do it, because if you rely on anybody else, you could potentially get sacked, which is not a good place to be. So I think the rule of thumb, or I guess the thing to take away from working yourself, is the more work you put in, the more successful you can be. So there's the incentive to put in more work, is to be more successful and just build on what you've done so far and see how far you can take it, which is certainly all I'm doing on the channel with you guys. As you guys know, if you've been with me for quite a while, we're getting more subscribers, which is great. I'm always live streaming with you guys as well, and you're still joining me for the live streams, which is great as well. So thank you for sticking with me on these live streams, but just thank you for all of your support on the channel. We will keep on pushing forward and see where we end up. I don't know where we'll end up, but I think it's going to be somewhere great, because it's already great and anything else is a bonus. But anyway, Orlando has just donated. John, thank you for that donation. Orlando has just donated $2 again. Thank you for that. And the message is, thank you for playing Carry On Wayward Son cover. No problem, Orlando. And thank you and all of the other guys over on Patreon for requesting said covers for me to load up and at least have a little bit of a poll and a vote on them. So anyway, we are going to be calling things to a close, and really your last chance now in order to get your names on the pick roulette for next week. It is really last chance saloon now, because we usually end things at 1:15, and I do have to keep things quite rapid with what I'm doing with the emails and everything. As I said, the more subscribers that come to the channel is great, it's fantastic, and everything is going in the right direction. But the more subscribers that I get, obviously the more messages I get, the more emails I get, and a lot more people filter through to my website and send me emails through there. So I have to make sure that I keep up, and I am, fingers crossed, keeping up at the moment with everything on the channel. I'd say pretty much roughly we're double as busy as we are normally, or what I'd consider, as I was probably at about 196,000 subscribers. I was at a quite busy state there, and I'm double as busy as that at the moment, and I think it will tend to just tail off a little bit. But when we went through that I think it was 16,000 subscribers over the course of maybe 4 weeks, that was then 7 times as busy as I normally was. So I managed to weather that storm and have got up to date with most of the messages. I know that there might be a few that slip through the net, but certainly not that have come through to the inbox, my email inbox. I have just gone through all of those. Sometimes they go into the junk folder, and I try and go through the junk folder, but there's loads of emails get put in there, as you can imagine, from different businesses and things that are trying to sell you things. And last chance, order this within the next 5 minutes, and all that kind of stuff. So I get a lot of that in the junk folder, but annoyingly, some emails still do get put in there. I don't know how Microsoft Outlook, which is what I use, how it organizes the emails and decides which ones go in the junk folder. And yeah, one of the emails that was in the junk folder was from Cliff Richard's management. I did a video on Cliff Richard in the past at some point, but yeah, that was one that I found in my junk email. So it's really annoying that it just decided to throw random emails in my junk folder, and if I weren't checking that, yeah, I wouldn't have seen that email or any other emails. But anyway, I tried to keep up to date with it. As I said, yeah, I'm kind of double as busy at the moment, but I'm still keeping up with it. So fingers crossed that'll be fine, and we'll just keep on pushing forward and see what happens. Anyway, Orlando has donated again $2 and says, thank you for answering my PayPal question too, with a wave. So no problem, Orlando. Thank you for the donations tonight. We're going to be calling it to a close. So thank you everyone for joining me again. It has really raced through time on these live streams, as it always tends to do, but I am going to be here with a video tomorrow night, and that's going to be the one that has been requested quite a lot by you guys, not only here on YouTube but on Patreon and through the wingsandpegasus.com site, which is for Michael Nesmith, who passed away recently. So that's going to be tomorrow night's video. We'll have a look at one of his performances, break it down a little bit, probably bust out the guitar. So I'm going to be doing that tomorrow night, so look out for that video. And Thursday is another admin day. Friday will be another video, and then we'll be live streaming again Saturday night. So make sure you tune in on Saturday night to double your chances of winning in the pick roulette. And if that's going to be your first or your second live stream, if you're tuning in now, then you can get your name on the pick roulette if we do hit that likes goal, then for the week after's pick roulette. So join in on Saturday if you can make it. I'll be there as always on a Saturday night and a Tuesday night, 12 midnight Greenwich Mean Time. I don't miss a live stream. If I'm ever going to miss a live stream, you will know about it somehow. I'll let you know on YouTube or Patreon, and I'll probably do it on Patreon and YouTube, but if you don't hear from me, I will be live streaming as always. So look forward to seeing you again on Saturday night, and have a great rest of the week. Try and stay as safe as possible. Follow any advice you're given by the medical professionals with the masks and that whole Omicron. I always question myself whether it's called Omicron, because I always think of Transformers, because it sounds like a transformer to me, like Omicron. But anyway, stay as safe as you can with this Omicron thing and the Delta variant and just COVID in general. And yeah, just wear masks if that's what the government and the medical staff and the medics are suggesting you do. But stay safe and have a great rest of the week, and I'll see you guys at the next one. Rock!